Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead. I'll tell you a very tight range today, which I don't think is the end of the world considering the size of the move that we had last week. The S&P cash must have went 35 handles. NASDAQ had a big run. Lots of stocks on the move. So, for an inside day, that happens. It's called digestion. And actually some guys made some decent money from Redler All Access from the note, fading some of the names that have been up 6, 7, 8 days. Okay, because you know what? You could do that if you are active and you have the proper plan. So anyway, let's just get right into it because Netflix is coming out very soon. All in all, the S&P cash, which is something that we show every day, held that 2407 area, which we mentioned. Look at all that support. And then last week, it gapped up above this descending trend line and held. Okay, so gap ups that hold are powerful. Then on Thursday, at a higher low, and then on Friday, it took out the all-time high. So for today to be an inside day, not the end of the world. To me, the chart looks pretty. Okay, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. What will probably dictate the trade will be how does Netflix react to the earnings? Does it open up huge and get sold down? Does it open down and fill the gap? Right now, we don't know the report yet, so I'll go over that in the Morning Call Express. Plus, you have Bank of America tomorrow morning and Goldman Sachs, and if you remember, the banks on Friday got sold off quick, but then they held where they had to. So if you want to look at the XLF for tomorrow to be prepared, I would say as long as the XLF continues to hold the 21-day moving average, I think it's very constructive. You had a big move here to take out that descending trend line. You had a retest, and then what did it do here? So far it's holding the 21-day, and if Bank of America and Goldman are decent, chances are, who knows, maybe you get another move. But for now, it's just rebuilding. Sometimes, you avoid things as they rebuild. You have this pretty symmetrical pattern here where, you held big time support, broke above it, came back, retested it, broke above it, and now it's hovering here, so we'll see. I am, one of my more concentrated positions right now is the small caps, the IWM. Why? I know it's been hard and it's not the easiest trade out there, but overall the support held going sideways, and now it just held the upper end. So in my head, I'm thinking if the market hangs in there and they want another sector to potentially break out, it seems as if this is ready to break out above this 142.50 to maybe get to like 145. So symmetrically, there's been a lot of moves here. Hasn't been the easiest thing to do, but all in all, digestion in the upper end of the range, knocking on the door, maybe that goes. So it's something to watch for this week. As far as high beta tech, they've been very mixed. A lot of them were up 5-6 days in a row, so it made sense to maybe fade Facebook that was up $1, that went down $1. We talked about even fading Baba, the stock that I love. I loved it at 145. Today, 153 made some sense, and it went up $1.50 to down a little bit. Same thing with Nvidia. So if you trade actively, entries and exits matter. So for now, we'll see what happens. Let's go through. Here's Baba. This was your nice percentage or nice trade. Remember we talked about being long versus 140 and adding above 145. Well, there you go. Why is today not a big deal? Because you know what? Look how extended it is from the 8-day. So when it's extended from the 8-day and 21-day, a day off isn't so bad. So today took the day off, and we'll see if the dip is viable for those who sold the strength today. You know what? We'll figure that out tomorrow. Buying the 8-day has been the way to go, and that showed a lot of relative strength actually. Today, Nvidia, also could have given you one of those trades where you could have faded the open. Why would you have faded the open? Well, first of all, this was a buyable spot, and this was another buyable spot. Okay, when it cleared, this is when you wanted to be long it. Okay, so up here, it made some sense. Okay, coming into the old highs, why not? Think about if it's going to take a little bit of a rest. So right into here, saw a little selling. You can't even really tell here. If you go to the 5-minute chart, I know Rocco, we were talking about Rocco, I love his name, how to trade it short, and we were talking about it on the VTF. Well, right here, it went inside, a gap up, came and filled the gap, pretty much triggered below this inside range, didn't get back above the 15-minute support that turned into resistance and then gave you some downside follow through. Then right here on this engulfing bar, probably would have got you out to cover it if you didn't cover into some support. But anyway, Nvidia has been a much better buy than a sell, but for today, it was a decent, cute short. Amazon was interesting. Amazon's been very tight. It didn't run the same way some of the others did. It did break a little bit to the upside today. I took a little risk on overnight because considering I don't know what Netflix is going to report or do, but I know I've been waiting for this trade above 1,014, 1,015. So if Netflix is good, it's probably going to gap up above it. So that's why I'm still long it. I got back involved today. We'll see what happens here. Hopefully, you still have a chance to buy it through this. The best place would be, I guess, if Netflix is down a little bit and this isn't down a lot and it goes green and takes this out, that would be a better trade. But if it's up, I wanted to have a little risk on there. Apple I sold today. Why did I sell Apple? Just because it's been a good trade. It was a great trade for us. Okay, when did I buy Apple? I bought it right here when it took back the 21-day moving average, when it got above this 146.10. So holding it for 3 days, 1, 2, 3 made some sense. I figured you'd get a little bit of resistance, here. Why here? Because I figured this was old support. Remember when this pennant broke to the downside? Well, now it turns into resistance and it's extended. So why not sell some, especially since they're saying how the iPhone 8 pushback could be happening. And lastly, let's just talk about the bios. The bios, did come a decent amount from, 308, 310 last week to as high as 318 and change. I did trim a little bit. I have less overnight, but I'm still long it. Why am I still long it? Because, it's just, to me, it's a day off. Here is your support. Okay, that was your spot to buy against. On this day, we added a little bit. I did sell some on Friday, came in. I actually sold a little bit today above this 318, and now I'm in a little bit smaller. I'm hoping that tomorrow, it hangs around here, maybe does a little red dog reversal and continues to build, gives you an inside range to work its way back towards the highs. So that's why, if you wanted to reduce today, if you bought a lot here and reduce there, fine. But to be all out of it, if you get all out of it, you might not get back involved. So we'll see what happens. This was a nice move from this breakout. So this flag, to me, I'm thinking there's some continuation, but we shall see. I know PBY I is halted and another one's halted, so we'll see what happens there, if for good reasons or bad. So in conclusion, Netflix is tonight. Let me just give you the quick levels that we talked about today. The only way I would be trading it after hours long is if it gets through this area and stays above it. Sometimes it pushes through, squeezes, and then comes back and fails. You don't want to be in it if it fails. And if Netflix didn't report enough and it's down, 145, some big support, and then 138's below. So support 2, and this is your momentum resistance area to see if you can get up and go. And that's it. I want to get back on the desk and see if I could trade these after hours. Have a good one.